שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shana Tova, Happy New Year. Temple Sholom is honored that you're spending Erev Rosh Hashanah with us. I'm Rabbi Miriam Terlinchamp, and I'm joined by Rabbi Simon Stratford, Dr. Mark Bailey, Dr. Allison Acord, musicians and readers from our community. We know that this high holiday season is different, and so we're trying our best to meet you where you are, bring a sense of normalcy and meaning to the season. You'll notice during this service, we practice physical distancing, and we're trying our best to adhere to safety protocols. We will be using Mishkan HaNefesh as our machzor, our prayer book for the high holiday season. If you have bought, borrowed, or downloaded one, wonderful. If you don't have one, no worries, you'll be able to follow along just fine. Wherever you are joining us from, please let us know. Write us on Facebook, leave a comment, drop an email. We are all in this together. Every Jew is different, and yet together we realize the oneness of our own faith. May this service offer you what you seek, strengthen your connection to your faith, and provide an opportunity for reflection and healing. We continue with Tiku V'Chodesh on page 15. Tiku V'Chodesh shofar, b'keseh liyom chagenu, ki chok liyisrael hu mishpat le'olehei Yaakov. At the new moon, at the full moon, for our feast day, sound the shofar, for this is the law of Israel, the way of God and Jacob. We continue on page 19. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in this year 5781. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our hearts be acceptable to you. In the new year that stretches before us, we are forever grateful for the gift of life. We continue on page 20, rising for our call to worship, Baruch Hu. Continue in love on page 24 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha
We continue with the watchword of our faith, Shema, on page 26.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lektecha v'derech Ushochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam le'ohot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafohot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lahem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
You have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward, turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross the sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you, Miriam dances unafraid. Lift your voice and sing a new song.
We continue on page 36. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, Hapures sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
Understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkiven
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 40.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב וימרו, אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה ממקום ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא וימרו, amen.
We continue with Tefillah on page 166 through 175. Please rise if you're comfortable, or just sit tall in your space.
ברוך אתה
After a long illness, I was permitted for the first time to step outdoors, and as I crossed the threshold, sunlight greeted me. So long as I live, I shall never forget that moment. And everywhere in the firmament above me, in the great vault between earth and sky, on the pavements, the buildings, the golden glow of sunlight, it touched me too with friendship, with warmth, with blessing. And I remembered how often I had been indifferent to the sunlight, how often preoccupied with petty and sometimes mean concerns. I had disregarded it, and I said to myself, how precious is the sunlight, but alas, how careless of it we are. Source of blessings, may we open our eyes to the radiance around us. May we open our hearts with gratitude and our souls with appreciation.
We all have those in our lives who are facing illness and pain, who are far from wholeness and peace. So let us offer a Misha Berech Lecholim, a prayer for those facing illness and pain, on page 73 at this time.
Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Let us each take a moment of silent prayer and reflection. Whether you choose to read from our prayer book through page 70 or choose to listen to the prayers of your own heart, let us take a moment at this time.
Elohai Netzor
Well, folks, there's no other way to say it. 5780 just wasn't our year. I had high hopes for the year to come last Rosh Hashanah. I was celebrating the first Gotcha Day anniversary for my adopted dog, Remy. My family and I were safe, healthy, with a roof over our heads and food on our table. Last year's High Holy Days marked the beginning of rabbinic placement, a process that proved to be better than I could have ever imagined since I landed here as the Associate Rabbi of Temple Sholom, a values-driven congregation that genuinely cares for each other and the community at large. The beginning of this year was filled with hope for the future, and then COVID happened. If I could Google review the year 5780, I would give it 1 star, if that. We humans like to think we have it all figured out. We like to think that we are in control. But leave it to a microscopic virus to bring the entire world to a halt and make us reconsider every aspect of our lives. We are all hurting from the impact of this virus, and we felt it on so many different levels. So many are experiencing profound loneliness settling in after months of staying home, while others are buried under an insurmountable feeling of overwhelm as they balance working from home while the kids are around. Perhaps the sheer boredom or lost sense of community after a summer without camp, concerts, or even baseball is finally getting to you. A record high unemployment rate is ravishing the lives of so many in our country and throughout the world. All of this has taken its toll on us, and no matter how much we tend to deny it, we are hurting. There are many different ways we can think about the year that was. Our lives are so different from what they were months ago. Each of us has been impacted by the virus differently, and all of us have experienced some hurt or trauma over the last year. We've experienced a year like never before, yet our high holy days remain. These high holy days, albeit different than ever before, are still the most important time of the year for the Jewish people. Rosh Hashanah is a new beginning of sorts, and this year in particular, all of us are in need of a new beginning. As we enter the year 5781, I want to offer a framework for the year ahead, a lens through which we can look back at the year that was and hope to begin the new year with a fresh perspective on these unprecedented times. There is an emerging field of study that stems from working with combat veterans called moral injury, an injury to an individual's moral conscience and values resulting from an act of perceived moral transgression. With regard to the mental health of veterans, moral injury occurs when a combat soldier has witnessed, perpetrated, or failed to prevent an action that goes against their deeply held moral beliefs and expectations. A consequence of moral injury is profound moral disorientation. Oftentimes, a sufferer of moral injury is overwhelmed with feelings of guilt, shame, anger, or betrayal. Yet moral injury is not exclusive to our veterans. The concept of moral injury applies to all of us. Moral injury emphasizes the psychological, social, cultural, and spiritual aspects of individual or collective trauma. Moral injury is a normal human response to an abnormal traumatic event. Outside the military, moral injury occurs when we are betrayed by those in positions of authority. It can result from an act of government malfeasance, or when the institutions in place to keep us safe, healthy, and promote democracy fail to uphold their responsibilities. When we get injured, we tend to forget about the damage inflicted to our souls, which lies at the intersection of the mind and the body. Our soul is the essence of what it means to be human. Our souls are a gift from God, a divine spark that lives in each of us. So when our soul is in pain and in need of repair, Where can we seek help? On Rosh Hashanah, our tradition teaches we are to engage in cheshbon hanefesh, the accounting of the soul. Cheshbon hanefesh is a process wherein we normally focus on the times we've hurt others from whom we need to seek forgiveness and when in the last year did we fall short of our ideals. While it is still important to engage in cheshbon hanefesh in the traditional sense, this year requires us to go deeper. We have all suffered many a moral injury in the year 5780. So we must acknowledge the trauma we've endured and enter the new year mindful of our souls. This new year, it's time that we start putting our souls first. Being mindful of the soul is being aware of our interior world of personality, thought, wisdom, emotions, along with its eternal essence. All of that we know as soul. Now more than ever, we need to nurture our soul, holding our soul as sacred and beginning to develop a soul perspective on life. A soul perspective is when we view every aspect of our inner life as if it originates from the soul. For example, if you catch yourself in the act of thinking, you could consciously note thought is the faculty of the soul. Feelings, too, you would connect to the soul rather than viewing them as aspects of emotion. We should deliberately say to ourselves, "It is my soul that is joyful," or "my soul is filled with sadness." With a soul perspective, when we bear witness to the myriad of atrocities happening throughout the world, we can truthfully say to ourselves, "It is my soul that cries out in anguish." When we first commit to a soul perspective, there will be brief moments when we perceive the soul. Nevertheless, as with any new practice or routine, after some time we become increasingly more comfortable, and eventually we can go from looking at ourselves as if we have a soul to actually experiencing our daily interactions as a soul. Adopting a soul perspective on life is one way for us to find greater balance between our inner and outer worlds. Acknowledging the profound effect this past year has had on our entire being and our world is the next step in beginning the new year with our souls as our first priority. This new year, allow yourselves a little respite. Yes, the high holy days are important and a time for serious introspection and intention setting for the year to come. But it's not a time to scold or berate oneself for all the muck that you've been dragged through this past year. May we strive to acknowledge and feel the presence of our souls in the year 5781. This new year, may we work toward aligning our inner and outer worlds. For when we do, we cultivate the ability to recognize the souls of others who we interact with on a daily basis, even while still 6 feet apart. Good Yontif and Shana Tova.
We continue on page 76. Avinu Malkeinu, Ein Lanu Melech Ela Ata. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, you alone are our sovereign. Avinu Malkeinu, Lemancha Rachem Aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, for your sake, show us mercy. Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Imanu Leman Shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name. Avinu Malkeinu, Shalach Refuah Shlema Lechole Amecha. Avinu Malkeinu, bring healing and wholeness to the ill among us. Avinu Malkeinu, Kara Ro'ah Gezar Dinenu. Avinu Malkeinu, allay the harshness of the decree against us. Avinu Malkeinu, Kodvenu Besefer Geula V'Yushu'ah. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe on us the book of redemption and renewal. Avinu Malkeinu, Zochrenu B'Zichron Tov Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, remember our goodness and call it to mind. Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Lem'anecha V'Hoshi'enu. Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake and save us. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu, Va'al Olalenu V'Tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei Dever V'Chara V'Ra'av Ma'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, at hunger. Avinu Malkeinu Kale Kol Tsar Umastima Aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu Kodvenu Besefer Chayim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu Chadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu Chanenu Va'anenu Ki Ein Vanu Ma'asim. Aseh Imanu Tzedakah V'chesed V'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu. V'al alapeinu, v'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kol Nidre, v'cherev harav me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei Chol Tsar u'mastin me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kodvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh aleinu, Chodesh aleinu, Shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu.
We begin the conclusion of our service on page 82 with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה לא יוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושלינות הוצו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו מלכנו ופיצולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבבך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We continue on page 87. Death will come. Its hand will not be stayed even an instant, nor can we enter into judgment with it. Our question, why, will go unanswered. But this does not mean that we are helpless in the face of death. We can, and we do, rob death of ultimate victory by living life as long as it is ours to live. To ask of death that it never come is futile, but it is not futility to pray that when death comes for us, it may take us from a world one corner of which is a little better because we were there. When we are dead and people weep for us and grieve, let it be because we touched their lives with beauty and simplicity. Let it not be said that life was good to us, but rather that we were good to life. This has been a very tough year, and we have lost many friends and family. So as we enter into Kaddish, think about what the words mean. They're ones of affirmation, looking at it and saying that even though things are difficult, I still choose to be here in this world. And though my heart will never be the same because of the people I have lost, I've been blessed by their existence. Take a moment and say out loud wherever you are as part of this service, say the name of someone that you have lost this year. May their memory be a blessing. Take a moment and say out loud the names of people who have died in seasons past, who you'd like to bring into this space of prayer. May their memories be a blessing. We continue together on page 90 with our words of affirmation, Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirete v'yamlich machute, b'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol be'Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam umei umaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha brichu. Le'ela u'le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata d'amiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, Amen.
Say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
As we conclude our service, I thank all of you who helped make tonight possible. Our readers, our musicians, the incredible talent of Dr. Mark Bailey, the exquisite voice of Dr. Allison Acord, the artistry of our video team and Robert at Mills Films, Aaron at The Blank Press, our impeccable sound team of Clark and Rich of Monastery Studios. Thank you to the staff team of Temple Sholom who put their heart into all that we do. Thank you to Rabbi Stratford for your words of wisdom, and also, especially to you, who showed up and tuned in for this service, who we did all of this for. Because Temple Sholom believes that we need you in our world. Our offering at Temple Sholom is to connect with people, wherever you are, physically, spiritually, and offer a space for courageous belonging and meaning. Thank you for being a part of that. If you're already part of the Temple Sholom community, thanks. If you aren't, you are now. So send us an email, drop us a message, call us, learn more about how to get involved with Temple Sholom. We will conclude our Erev Rosh Hashanah service with Adon Olam on page 94.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa b'chefetzo kol azay melech shemo nikra azay melech shemo nikra ba'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora vehu haya vehu hove yehu yeh betifara vehu yeh betifara vehu echad ve'ein sheni להמשילו להחמירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אחד וחי גואלים וצור חבלי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו אבקיד רוחי בעת אישן ואירה ועם רוחי גווייתי אדוני לי ולא אירה אדוני לי ולא אירה.
We conclude on page 98, a blessing for the new year. Our God and God of all generations before us, may it be your will in the coming year to grant us a year of abundance and atonement, a year of blessings bestowed and received, a year of community and compassion, a year of delight and exaltation, a year of enlightenment, a year of friendship and forgiveness, a year of going up in gladness, a year of health and healing and humor, a year of inner strength and well-being, a year of joy and Jewish celebration, a year of knowledge and learning for its own sake, a year of love between parents and children, friends and spouses, brothers and sisters, a year of mitzvot and moments of sweetness, a year of nature protected and enjoyed, a year of optimism and hope, a year of peace pursued with perseverance, a year of quiet and tranquility, a year of rain in its season, a year of song and spiritual growth, a year of Torah study and tikkun olam, a year of understanding and unity, a year of vows fulfilled and violence overcome, a year of wisdom acquired and shared, a year of coexistence among the families of the earth, a year of young and old reaching out to one another, a year of Zion aglow with the light for us and all the world. Our God and God of all generations before us, grant us a year of gratitude to you for the most profound of blessings, your gift of life.
יברכך יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, 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 וישם לך שלום, שלום, וישם לך שלום, 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 וישם לך שלום, שלום, וישם לך שלום.
And may you be sealed in the book of life.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, 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 וישם לך שלום, שלום, וישם לך שלום, שלום.